again and welcome back. If you're new, then hello, hi, nice to meet you. And if you're returning, then hi, thanks for coming back. Okay, so this video is going to be about skincare. Very broad, very vague. I actually started trying to film this video and I done it twice, and the second time when I was trying to edit it, it was still over an hour long. So I figured I'm going to do it a little bit differently. This is going to be a very basic overall view of my opinions of skincare at the moment, opinions on the industry, opinions on how I think you should probably feel about yourself and your skin. We will cover a few little scientific-y bits and bobs, little kind of basics of skincare in this video, but otherwise I am going to make this into a series. I am going to make different videos. I'm going to say every week, but let's face it, it might not be every week. And what they are going to be is a different topic every week. So one week we might speak about the science behind pH in skincare, active ingredients like retinols, vitamin C's, peptides, moisturizers, humectants. So we'll try and actually pinpoint the things that I'm going to talk about. This is coming off the back of the Ordinary video that I done last year, and as I said, tried to film and it was over an hour long. So hopefully these will be a bit more snippets that you can dip in and out of for a little bit of information if you so need it. If that sounds like your cup of tea, then keep watching. Alright, so where do you start? It is a very, very broad subject. I'm not going to get into too much detail. As I said, this is going to just be a basics, overall type of chat with you today. Today, I have no makeup on my skin. This is just me, this is my skin, this is who I am. Just normal skin today. I shouldn't say normal skin, that's probably not the right thing to say. It's my skin. My skin is mine. It's usually obvious, but it's true. I think the very first thing I'm going to say in this video is that there is no one size fits all in skincare. That is practically impossible to do. I think it's probably impossible in most instances. You know, when you go into a shop and they're like, oh, one size fits all, and then you're like, well, not really. So I would say that skincare is exactly the same. There is not going to be a product that one person can pick up and it will do everything that it says, and it will do the exact same for another person. We have oily skin, we have dry skin, we maybe have skin that has dermatitis, psoriasis, rosacea, we have dark skin, we have sallow skin, we have fair skin, we have aging skin, we have sensitive skin. You might have all of those and none of those. You cannot possibly have a one size fits all when we're talking about this topic, and I think that is one of the most important things you can remember when you're watching things about skincare. I think skincare nowadays is a very tricky maze to be walking into. We are bombarded with information, not only from adverts and television like we used to be back in, you know, 50s to the 1990s. We also see it on our social media. We also now watch people like me and take their opinions and their advice and hope that those people are telling us the truth. Again, very difficult because you're probably bombarded with a lot of information. It's very clear when you can see that a brand are launching something and you see, you know, 10 of your favorite influencers all speaking about it at the same time. So it can be very, very difficult to navigate skincare nowadays. So just before we get started on any basics of skincare, I thought what I might do is tell you my opinions and the truth about skincare type situations. I think nowadays as well that people are a lot more educated than they used to be. They don't just take what the lady at the Clinique counter is telling them as the be all and end all, and that's with no disrespect to anybody that works at any of these counters. But people are more adept at looking at their ingredients. I'm hoping that by the end of these little videos you will know vaguely how to read your skincare ingredients, what to look for, maybe talking about pHs and stuff like that as well. So I think it's really important now that we know what we're talking about in skincare. It's also very important that we know who to trust, who is telling us this information. I am sitting here now making a video on the internet, hoping somebody will watch it. But the truth of the matter is I could tell you I like this, I really like this down here, But don't just take what I say as a be all and end all. That is not the way this works. I could have completely different skin texture, skin age, skin tone from you, and none of these products might work for you, and they do for me. A lot of the time I quite like to watch people, because I've watched YouTube for a long time, but I like to watch people who maybe talk about empties when they've used up a product. Would they buy it again? I quite like to hear people talking about products that they have bought repeatedly over and over, because surely there must be a reason why they've done that. It's quite difficult because nowadays, especially in this kind of industry as such, if you want to call it that, people are sent things. They are sent things as PR samples. They can sometimes call it gifted, but they're sent things and they'll be like, wow, I've been using this a week and it's changed my life. And that's very, very difficult to say whether that is true or not. What I would say for that reason, even as someone who would tell you I like this, this and this, don't take my opinion only. Don't just take the thoughts and opinions and views of one person on the internet, even if you've been watching that person, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. I know the people that I think I kind of trust your views and opinions on that, and other ones that I think that is quite clearly a hashtag ad. It was only quite recently people have to put hashtag ad if it is a paid thing. I believe they also have to disclose PR samples, but as far as I'm concerned, if you're a relatively successful influencer and you're being sent quite a lot of things quite a lot of the time, that is going to change your judgment and views on a product. You might not even realise it, but subconsciously that is going to change your views. If you've not had to go out and spend your hard-earned money on that product, then it's going to change your opinion on it. So I always try and be as open, as honest and as transparent as I can on this channel, but as I say, do not take the first person you watch. Don't take what they said as a quotation and a be all and end all. Go and look things up, go and read the reviews, go and see what the ingredients are. Will they suit your skin? Are they going to be beneficial to your skin? Go and read some scientific articles. If it says, okay, so there's an antioxidant in this one, what does that antioxidant do? What actually does it say it's going to do? Will it interact with any of the other stuff that you're already using? This is going to get a little bit confusing at times, but I will have, as I say, different videos for different things, and I will try and cover the topics of mixing and layering and all that kind of stuff in a different video, so don't worry. Now, on the topic of your skin, I'm coming in for a close-up now. So you will see I do have pores. I do have a nice furry moustache up there. I do have fine lines and wrinkles. I am 33 years old. I do have some pigmentation from some old spots that I've squeezed. I do have some freckles as well. I have a little bit of a suntan at the moment because actually the weather in Scotland has been pretty fucking spot on, amazingly. So this is me in my glory. This is absolutely perfectly fucking normal. And it's normal for your skin to have texture. It is normal for your skin to have days where it is dry and dehydrated. It is normal for your skin to have days where you have breakouts. I would say I probably have combination skin. It is generally a bit drier here, but I do get very oily around these areas still. This is just where I get my breakouts. What I am gonna say though is all of these things, as I say, are normal. Again, this is gonna be a bit deep and meaningful, but please, if you can, don't compare yourself to images of that of people online. And I know that's a very easy thing to say. I do it myself. You can get yourself down in a little bit of a rabbit hole being like, God, I really wish I could get rid of the facelifts and get rid of the wrinkles and blah blah blah. The reason I'm kind of tackling this issue in this video is because if I go on in other videos to talk to you about how to decrease pigmentation, if we're going to talk about aging skin and how to try and slow the clock down a little bit, although it's never going to be completely avoidable. Before I get into those topics, I would like to just say these things are all completely normal, and you should not be judging yourself on images that are portrayed online, kind of unattainable images. And please try and remember that this idea of perfectly flawless, poreless, maybe even pale skin, like lighter skin is seen more beautiful and things like that, without any flaws or abnormalities or scars, is something that has been perpetuated to us over the years as this ideal of beauty. If you have scars on your face, if you have wrinkles on your face, if you have pigmentation, if you do have acne, I'm going to say this right now, that doesn't make you any less beautiful. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if there is anybody at all who would have the gumption and the gall to come up to you in the street and say, God, you're really quite wrinkly there, or God, look, you got a big zit on your face. Fuck that person. They are not very nice people. If you have been taught to believe that over the years you need to lighten your skin to be more beautiful, fuck those people, because those aren't very nice people. If you've been taught over the years, for instance, it's very easy to get yourself down the rabbit hole, but I will use fake tan every now and again, I will use bronzer every now and again, because we have been told that having a tan makes you look like you have a healthy glow. It came from, I want to say 1920s, 30s, circa, don't quote me. And basically at that time, going on holiday or going to the seaside for the day, going and spending time having a vacation, as people in America might say, was something that people of a middle or upper class could do. And that said a lot about your class if you had a tan. So if you had that nice glowing bronzed skin, you were thought to be more successful because you were able to take your family somewhere where you could lie in the sun for the day and take a tan. So nobody was wearing sunscreen back then, nobody was putting their SPF on, it was all just skin cancer and haha, jolly, happy times, we're smoking on the beach, all dying. But what I'm saying is that's where that came from, that idea of it's nicer to have bronzed skin. Equally, if you were darker, if you were somebody who had more sallow skin, if you were somebody who has black skin, then it could be seen that you were of a class, you were a lower class, and you weren't able to do those things, which is absolutely fucking bonkers, considering people are being told to get a healthy glow and healthy tan, and people who have some of the darkest skins were seen as lesser people. It's just bamboozling, and we have to remember that this ideal of what beauty is not beauty. Beauty is what makes you you, and by having scars and things like that, it makes you that person. Those scars are little reminders of things that have happened over your lifetime. They are the roadmap of your face. Now, a lot of people might be watching this thinking, well, that's easy for you to say, you're a white woman, you don't have overly problematic skin, and you don't have that many wrinkles because you're only 33. But I have scars elsewhere. I have scars that I have one under my bust, it goes right down my back, because I had open heart surgery. It's not one that people see very often, but I still have a great belief in scars are what make you. If someone sees me in a bikini on holiday and they see that scar and they think that makes me ugly, or they think that makes me deformed in some way, fuck those people. Like, I'm gonna say this quite a lot through this video, but the only people you need to be worrying about, whether you've put a photo up and somebody is online being a fucking keyboard warrior, being like, oh, you've got so much cellulite, oh, you're so fat, oh, you're so spotty, fuck that person. That doesn't matter. All you have to worry about is the people who are around you, the people who love you, the people who think you are beautiful for you. Don't take any nonsense, and please, if you can take anything from this, try not to aspire to this ideal of what we have been told is beautiful. We think we have to cover these marks because we have been told that that is not normal. We've been told that that is not beautiful. You need to cover that. I do it myself. It's very difficult because it is in our heads that that's the way we need to think. Don't sit on your phone and sit and look in your mirror and pick and choose and pick and nitpick every little bit on your face, because skin is supposed to have texture. Skin is supposed to be wrinkly because you've smiled your whole life. Skin is supposed to droop a little bit as you get older. It is biology that collagen starts to lack in your body, and it's nice to be able to have things to add in to try and keep the luminosity of your skin and keep the youth of your skin. That's very nice. But short of surgical intervention, getting a facelift or getting some fillers and stuff, these things are likely to happen. There's no shame in it. Just please remember that. I, at the moment, am sitting in front of a window in my bedroom, and it's giving my face plenty light to it, and it looks a certain way just now, and I have no makeup on my skin, But if I was to change the lighting, if I was to move to a different area of my room, then you would probably see even more little flaws and imperfections and things like that on my skin. We don't necessarily want to highlight those things, and I understand that, and I think it's probably important for me to say I completely can sympathise with people who have really bad acne, maybe really noticeable pigmentation and things like that, who feel they do need to cover it up. So I don't want to belittle that or say like it's frivolous and like don't be stupid, just leave all your scars and that out. Like, I understand that people will want to change that, people will want to remove those things from their face, but what I'm gonna say is, if you think you're beautiful, if you believe in yourself, if you think, you know what, I'm a relatively good person, I'm beautiful, I'm really enjoying how I look today, then that is going to shine through in your skin. That radiance, that beauty is going to show through in your skin. That is the most important thing. And as I say, not anybody who says otherwise. Okay, so now that we've got the nitty gritty and the kind of more serious notes out the way, let's move on to my kind of top tips for skincare. So the first one, it's really obvious. Really obvious, and once I say it you'll all be like, I was here for science, I wasn't here for this shit. But eat well, drink water and sleep. It is the pinnacle of good skincare. As I say, your skin is here to protect you, it is here to do a job. It is here to make sure that all of the things inside, all the jelly, all the blood, all the tissues, all that stuff doesn't come spewing out. It is also here so that it has a little barrier. Yes, the skin itself is a barrier. There are 7 layers to your skin, but there are oils and acids and lipids and all that kind of stuff that sit on the top of your skin, and that is there to protect you from things getting into your skin as well. Now, we speak about active ingredients a lot nowadays, especially in the current climate in the market and on social media. You hear about retinols, you hear about vitamin C's, you hear about peptides, you hear about niacinamide. Like, you hear all these really fancy buzzword scientific things. As I say, there will be separate videos on these things. Our bodies make a lot of these things naturally, and the way that they make them and facilitate them is by eating them. That might sound really fucking obvious, but if you are filling your body with the right stuff and giving it a good diet, a good balanced and healthy diet, then that will show in your skin. If you are eating a load of crap, then equally that will show in your skin. Now, I am not going to sit here like I'm some sort of fucking angel. I love a pizza. I love a little takeaway every now and again. But it is very important to have a very balanced and healthy diet. It can be genetics as well. Sometimes you can just have more oily skin, more acne prone skin, rosacea, psoriasis, stuff like that. These are genetic reasons as to why you might end up with these conditions, and these can't be helped. You will need to see someone who's a professional, a dermatologist, what have you, in regards to these matters. So sometimes it does annoy me a little bit when skincare companies and brands are like, you know, trying to sell you this dream, because sometimes you actually do just need to go and see a professional as well, and it's not actually that readily acceptable here in the UK, I would say. I think in America people have a dermatologist the way they have a gynecologist. We probably wouldn't be sent to a dermatologist unless we went to the GP and said, look, I've got this funny rash, I don't know what it is, I've got a mole that's went a funny colour, can you please tell me it's not cancer? So basically the most important things: eat a good diet, drink lots of water. I would say 1.5 to 2 litres of water a day. All I'm going to say is, though, the nurse in me is screaming. If you've been told by either a renal specialist, a hepatologist like for your liver, or a cardiac specialist to only stick to 1 or 1.5 litres a day, if you have a restriction on the amount you're supposed to drink, stick to that. Don't just take what I'm saying and be like, I'm gonna guzzle all the water because my skin will be good for it. Stick to what your professionals are saying on any of these subjects. Next up, know your ingredients. Again, minefield. Where do you even start? What I'm going to say is, I'd said it in the glossy video as well, I am lucky enough that I was taught to read food packets very young. Use that information, because I think there's a lot of people have that knowledge nowadays. A lot of people are looking at the back of food packets, yes, to know about calories and sugar intake and all that stuff, but also for allergen reasons. So a lot of people are looking at the back of food packets now, and they know roughly how to interpret what the information is in the back. So if you don't, maybe go and have a little look into it. But if you do, just look at the back of your packet and be like, oh, okay, so here's the ingredients list. What's in it? As a general rule of thumb, and this is me being very general, as I say, don't always take what I'm saying as the be all and end all. Let's just say this is a all singing, all dancing, fancy, hydrating something, right? And it says its active ingredient is hyaluronic acid. Then look at your little ingredients list and think, where is that on the ingredients list? If that is really far down the ingredients list, then is it going to have enough of that active ingredient in it to actually do the job? Please don't forget that. I would say you don't always need to pay lots of money to actually get a decent skincare product. You also don't need to always look for a bargain. Like, bargains aren't always bargains. Does that make sense? I'm playing devil's advocate here, but what I'm saying is, if I pick this up and it's £80, it says it's going to do this, this and this. On the back though, the hyaluronic acid is really, really low down the list. And then I pick up this one from another company. It's obviously not, but... And this one is a £5. And it says it's going to do very similar to this one, but its hyaluronic acid is really high at the top. What one am I going to pick? Probably this one, because it's cheaper. It's also better ingredients, so it's higher up the list. And therefore, I think that's probably going to be my first choice. And saying that, you go to Aldi, you see the Lacura stuff, you're like, oh, look, there's a little dupe of something. Let's take this for example. It's supposed to look like Pixie. And you pick it up and you think, oh, what does this do? Blah, blah, blah. And you're reading it, and it costs you a £5. And you think, that's just a £5. I don't mind if it doesn't really work. Again, that's fine. That is my budget realm. That is my opinion on something. But for some people, a £5 might actually be a lot more money than other people would think. A £5 might be the difference between you buying another couple of meals for your family or picking up a treat for yourself. Always make sure you are paying the bills. Make sure you have food on the table. And again, I didn't want to get too political, but I feel like in this current climate that there is a lot of keeping up with the Joneses. People see things online and they feel like because the big influencers have got that, because they're using this, because I've seen everybody speaking about it, I need to have it. Do you need to have it though? Does it mean you're going to go short that month? Are you going to put yourself into debt for getting it? Just have a little think about that as well. Back to the Aldi thing. It says it's got hyaluronic acid in it and it's really low down the list. Does that mean that this is a bargain? I don't know, but I pick it up, I try it, and I kind of fucking like it. So if I was to say to you on this channel, I'm really enjoying this now. I'm not saying to you, like, you know, I'm enjoying this bad product. What I'm saying to you is, I've enjoyed this product. Try and keep that in mind, because sometimes I find things and I think, God, these are really good, these are really affordable, they have very good ingredients, they are ticking all the right boxes. Reverse that, and if I go to a cream that cost me 50 quid, let's say, and I've looked into it and I think, okay, the ingredients are okay, they're not amazing, but they're okay, but I really enjoyed using that cream. That is my 5-10 minutes at night of solace, of just giving myself a little massage. That is my self-care, and I hate that phrase, but that's self-care time for me. And I don't mind paying 50 quid for it, because you know what? I work hard, it's my money, and I want to spend it on that, and that is my treat to me. You have to keep it in context. You have to think about your life, your skin. How will these ingredients affect your skin? Will this product fit into your life and your skin routine? Will you have time to do it? Is it something you need to do every day? This is something that everybody, you need to think about everything. It's not as simple as, I'm going to pick this product up and it's going to change my life. Everything that is on the front of a packet is marketing. This product has been designed to look like a Pixie product, to make people in Aldi want to pick it up and be like, oh, that must be like that product. The ingredients list could be completely fucking different, even though it looks like the Pixie product. And I'm kind of enjoying this now, but I'm giving you examples and being honest. It could be completely different, and it could be, this is a £5 and the Pixie one is 25 quid, and you think, ding ding ding, getting myself a bargain there. But on the front, all this stuff, the buzzwords, the blurb, the way it looks, is marketing. It is designed to make you go, oh, hello, what are you saying to me? So turn it round, read your ingredients list, and also, if you are using anything new that you've never used before, always test it somewhere before you just go slathering it all over your face. You should be testing somewhere like here, behind the ear, under here, something like that. You can do it on your wrist too. It's to make sure that you don't react to that product. As well as that, please keep in mind that you should be using products for at least 4 to 6 weeks. Ladies, we all have a monthly cycle, we have a period, it goes through the motions. Your skin does the same thing. Your skin has cycles of regeneration and replenishment and exfoliation, so to speak. And for that reason, you really should be using something for 4 to 6 weeks before you can judge whether or not that has worked for your skincare. What I would say is, once you've used a whole bottle, you know, do you see changes? Like, keep it weekly, even a weekly kind of diary of, how does it look this week? Is it better? Is it worse? Does it look like it's done what it says on the tin? Not only that, once you've stopped using it, do you then see a change in your skin? Have you been using this and you've been happy with your skin, and then you stop using it and you think, oh god, no, like, I obviously that my skin was enjoying that. Also, be careful of what you bring into your skincare routine at certain times. Now, that is a very vague statement to make, but what I mean is, if you're trying something out and you're the second week into that, and then you start using something else and your skin gets really good, how do you know it was this thing, or how do you know it was that thing? It can be very tricky. I am terrible for it because I like using lots of different things, but what I try to do is use one product up at a time. So if I try a peptide serum, I will use only that peptide serum for that amount of time. If I'm using a vitamin C, I will use only that vitamin C for that amount of time till it's finished, etc, etc. You get the point. Because if you keep bringing new things in all the time, then A, you're going to irritate your skin and it's going to be like, what the fuck are you doing to me? B, you're going to end up with nice skin, but you won't be able to pinpoint what product it was that was giving you the nice skin. Or C, you're going to end up really overloading your skin. You might end up with over exfoliation, for instance. If you got too many acids at once, you might end up with over exfoliation and actually worsen your chances of acne and pigmentation. Another really obvious one, and you'll be like, oh yeah, know all this, but don't squeeze. Don't squeeze. I need to learn this myself because I am 33 years old now, and still, when I get a spot, I squeeze it. It's such a bad thing to do for your skin for a number of reasons. The spots that I sometimes get here are usually the sore under the skin ones. Please leave them alone. Don't go sticking needles in your face. When I was younger, I genuinely, like, if I had a spot under the skin, I couldn't get to it. And maybe I knew it was like there was a little white under the skin. It's not a white head, but I could feel, if I could just get into that, I could get that gunk out it. And I took sterile needles to my face. What the fuck is that all about? Not a good thing to do to your skin. I had sterile needles because of my diabetes, by the way, just before you're like, what, why are you sterilising needles? I already had them to hand and I thought, well, I'm just going to stick that in there and squeeze all the stuff out. It causes inflammation and it causes this darkening and this pigmentation on the skin and scarring. And if you don't want to have that, you don't want to exacerbate it, as I said, does it make me any less of a person? Do I feel like I'm any less of a beautiful person because of that, without being that I'm fucking gorgeous? But do I feel like any less of a person for having these marks on my chin? No, absolutely fucking not. But do I wish I didn't have them? Because if I hadn't squeezed them, they wouldn't be there? Yeah, kind of. Do not squeeze, pick, peel, push. Just leave them alone. Let them do what they need to do. As I said, if you do have a genuine, like, issue with some cystic acne or acne that is really affecting your life because it's also very painful, as well as you feel you don't like the look of it, then go and see a professional. Don't just be shoving everything on your face trying to make it better, because you could actually be making it much worse. And the last one that is the skincare basics I'm going to talk to you about is sunscreen. Sunscreen, whatever you want to call it, fucking wear it. Basically, everybody needs to wear sunscreen. Does anybody remember that song? I think I would have been like first year, maybe like 11 or something when it came out. Everybody should wear sunscreen. They absolutely should. It doesn't matter whether you are a pale and interesting bitch like me, or you are a very, very dark black skin person. Sun damage causes skin cancer. Skin cancer is very prevalent. I think one of the top reasons why here in Scotland it's becoming a bit of an issue, or it has become an issue, is A, because we don't see the sun that often, so when we see it we all rush out and we're like, ah, the sun, like we've not seen it for ages. Yes, amazing. But also because on days like today where it's a little bit more overcast, we feel we probably don't need sunscreen, and you do. You absolutely do. If I am working a 12.5-hour shift, well, I will not see the sun in that day, then I will not put sunscreen on. But if I am going to be outside in the sun, even if that is to go on public transport, and I know it's difficult at the moment, pandemic, we're not really all doing that, but if you are leaving the house in the morning to go to your work at 9 AM and you're finishing at 5, during that period, even if your commute is 40 minutes, you should have sunscreen on because your face is out in the sun. I will make an individual video on sunscreen because, as I said, I tried to talk about all of these things in the first video that I made, and it just made it very, very long. But essentially, we all need to wear sunscreen. If you are someone who lives further closer to the equator than I am at the moment, and you think, I take a tan anyway, like I've just got skin that takes a tan, you still need to wear sunscreen. Anybody of any colour can be affected by skin cancer. Not only that, things like pigmentation can be caused by the sun. So things like melasma that sometimes come here on pregnant women, that's another factor, can be people who are very sallow skinned or people who are very light skinned. So on me, melasma might look more like brown, like a brown colour on my skin because my skin's quite pale. But if someone has very sallow skin, like an Asian skin, then it will come up as a deeper, darker brown tone on their skin. Wear sunscreen because I don't want to fucking die. Wear sunscreen because it is not nice to be burnt. It is not a nice thing to feel tight and sore and you're all red, and it's not nice. It doesn't feel nice, it doesn't look particularly nice because you look like a sore person. You look like a cooked chicken sometimes. So just wear it. Please just wear it. Just as a little additive onto that at the end. This is something I genuinely don't know. I'm a little bit naive about and wasn't sure about, but sometimes when I put sunscreen on, you get a white cast. I think that is because that's the physical element of the sunscreen. You get physical sunscreens and you can get chemical sunscreens. So I think if you're using a physical sunscreen, like titanium dioxide or something, you can get a white cast on your skin. Now that is also on someone who has very peely-wally, just shaking my bingo wing at, you know, white skin. Now, how do we feel about, oh, how do we feel? That's a silly way. Like, how do people feel if you have very, very black, dark skin and you're putting that on your skin? It's going to be more obvious on your skin. Now, personally, that wouldn't offend me. I don't mind if people have got white marks on their skin. But black people themselves might be like, do you know what? That's just weird looking. Like the fact that I have this white paint almost now on my black skin. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert. Is there a way that we can look into eliminating that as a factor? Can we make that so that it's not peely-wally white on people who have dark skin to make them feel a little bit more comfortable? Is that an option? Is that doable scientifically? If not, do we start bringing out sunscreens that have a little bit of tint to them, a little bit of pigment, therefore making people with darker and sallow skin more comfortable? Just a thought to think about, because to be honest with you, I don't know the answer. I actually don't know the answer. But it's something that's not really discussed in sunscreen. So, I don't know. How do we feel about that? Anyway, so that is it rounded up for this video. I told you it was just going to be a bit vague, a bit rambly. But coming up will be chatting about the pH level, talking about mixing and layering, talking about the individual active ingredients, and debunking the myths of skincare. So if you think you like the sound of that, then keep tuned, keep watching, subscribe, etc. And the only thing I'll say if you take away from this is you are you, your skin is yours, learn the best for your skin. Read the back of your ingredients, make sure you're cluing yourself up and educating yourself. Don't just take one person's opinion of things. Research, look into it, see all the other angles from it. Always wear sunscreen. And eat well, drink water and get enough sleep. That was quite a few actually, but anyway, that is it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!